Can you even imagine the audacity? After years of suffocating under the iron grip of our HOA, they finally pushed me too far, jacking up my fees over what? Too many cars in my own blasted driveway. Oh, the gall! What they didn't suspect, not for a single second, was that I'd been secretly snatching up properties all over this neighborhood, piece by stealthy piece for years. And now? Now it was time to rip the mask off and show Karen, our insufferably power-mad HOA president, who really runs this show. But would she just slink away quietly when I dropped my bombshell? Ha! Fat chance. Hey, welcome to my crazy corner of the internet. Subscribe if you're dying for more Karen versus HOA showdowns. I swear, I never wanted a scrap with these petty tyrants' troubles. Not my game. But last Tuesday morning, when I shuffled out in my slippers and spotted that glaring orange notice taped to my front door, my stomach dropped. War? Oh, you better believe it was war. My hands were trembling, shaking like leaves in a storm as I tore that notice off and read it. Immediate HOA fee increase, $500 monthly. Violation, excessive vehicles on property, 3 cars. Are you kidding me? That's what this insanity was about? My trusty work truck, my lifeline for my construction business, my wife Sarah's beat-up SUV that hauls her to those endless hospital shifts, and the little used Honda we'd surprised our daughter with for her 16th birthday last month, her first set of wheels. 3 perfectly innocent cars, just chilling in our driveway like they belong there because they do. I bolted inside, peeked through the kitchen window, and there she was, Karen Mitchell, strutting her morning inspection like some dictator with her ridiculous pink clipboard and that measuring tape swinging like a badge of honor. She parked herself at my driveway, yanked out her phone, and started snapping pictures again. 3rd time this week, honey, she's back at it. Sarah's voice drifted in from the living room, weary and worn. Should we just cram the Honda in the garage and call it a day? No way, I snapped, slamming my coffee mug down. We're not hiding our kid's car like we're some shady outlaws. The garage is stuffed Sarah's medical supplies, my tools. We laid it all out at that last HOA meeting, didn't we? Oh, that meeting. How could I shake the memory of Karen's smug, lip-curled smirk as I stood there, practically pleading our case? Rules are rules, Mr. Thompson, she'd purred, barely glancing up from her phone, tapping away like I was dirt under her shoe. Maybe if you can't swing proper garage storage, this neighborhood's too good for you. Too good for me? Who does she think she's fooling? What she didn't know, what nobody in this nosy little community had a clue about, was that for 5 long years, I'd been quietly scooping up properties here through my real estate company, cloaking every buy with different LLC names. It started as a slick investment move, pure genius, right? But now it was my secret weapon, locked and loaded. I sauntered out to grab the mail, dragging my feet just to mess with her. Karen was over there, pretending to fuss over Mrs. Johnson's rose bushes. Poor Mrs. Johnson, who'd gotten slapped with a fine last month because her roses were too vibrant and threw off Karen's precious neighborhood color scheme. Can you believe that nonsense? My phone buzzed. Right then, a text from my lawyer. Property closing complete. You now own 67% of the development. Oh, jackpot. I grinned like a kid on Christmas, slipping the phone back as Karen marched over, clipboard hugged tight like a security blanket. Mr. Thompson, she sang, her voice so fake sweet it could rot teeth. I trust you got our little notice about your vehicle violation. You bet I did, Karen. I shot back, cool as a cucumber. And I've got some big questions like, what's the legal ground for this fee hike anyway? She flicked her hand like I was a gnat. The board's got all the power it needs. Maybe show up to a meeting sometime and you'd figure it out. Her smile, pure ice, no warmth, no life. Little did she suspect, oh, how blind she was, that I'd been at every single meeting for 5 years, lurking through proxies who owned my properties. I'd watched her like a hawk, scribbling down every sneaky fine, every shady fee, every time she flexed her petty power. As she spun away, her fancy heels clacking on the sidewalk, she tossed back, "Oh, emergency meeting tonight, 7:00 p.m. sharp. We're tackling problem properties." Problem properties? My fists clenched, but I kept my poker face, texting my lawyer, "Get those papers ready, Karen's striking tonight." Just then, my daughter's car rolled in, and wouldn't you know it, Karen froze, snapping more pics. My blood boiled. "Seriously, lady," but I held it together. Tonight was going to flip this neighborhood upside down, and I had calls to make. Inside, I flung my property maps across the desk, every lot glowing with highlights. A 5-year masterpiece of planning, evidence piling up against Karen's reign of terror. She'd rue the day she targeted my family. Oh, she'd see who she was really up against. The phone shrilled Miss S. Johnson, sobbing across the street about another violation notice. "Why me?" she choked out. I glanced at the old photo on my wall. Dad, grinning wide in front of his first house before an HOA bullied him into selling 20 years back. He drilled it into me, play the long game, fight with brains, not fists. I checked my watch, 6 hours to go. Karen wanted a showdown over a few cars. She had no clue what was barreling her way. I stepped into the community center that night, and whoa, the tension hit me like a brick wall. Every chair was packed with neighbors I'd known forever, shoulder to shoulder, buzzing with whispers. Karen had gone full diva, hiring a pro photographer to twist my 3 cars into some criminal parking lot unreal. "Let's get this started," she crowed, banging her glittery pink gavel like a queen. A Tuesday night meeting? How low can you sink, knowing working folks can't make it? But I was there, tucked in the back, watching her preen like a peacock. "Check out these professional shots," she bragged, clicking through her PowerPoint. "Mr. Thompson's place? A used car lot." Gasps from her front row fan club, the same hypocrites with Christmas lights up till March. No fines. I scanned the room. Miss S. Rodriguez, my sweet old neighbor, rolled her eyes. She'd been dinged for her grandson's car while he fixed her roof. Mr. Chen, the science teacher, scribbled furiously he'd gotten nailed for a snowstorm parking slip. Karen zoomed in on my daughter's Honda. "This car's been here 48 hours. She sneered, skipping the part about my kid's college weekend visit. She rambled on charts of fake property value drops, complaints from her cronies, weather reports claiming my cars caused snowdrifts. "And here," she said, waving a fat binder, "I've tracked every move at Thompson's for 3 months, stalking us." "Are you serious?" Neighbors squirmed in their seats. Then Sarah Jenkins, my next-door hero, stood up. "Karen, isn't this nuts? They're just normal cars." Karen's face went beet red. "Out of order. Sit down," she barked. I watched her husband Bob pass out a ridiculous bylaw, 2 cars max, garage only. I nearly laughed, nearly. "Vote now," Karen snapped. No debate. My moment. I rose slow, adjusting my tie, heart thumping. "Point of order, Madam President." Her eyes slit like a cat's. "You're not recognized." "Oh, yes, I am." I fired back, flashing my folder. Bylaw 7.3, any owner can challenge voting rules. Silence. Her nails dug into the podium. "Before we vote," I said, striding forward, "let's talk ownership." My shoes clicked on the linoleum, dramatic, right as I unrolled my map. For 5 years, Sunrise Properties has been buying homes here. Karen's face drained white. "And as its CEO, I thought you'd all love to know who owns most of this HOA. I paused, locking eyes with every board member. "But first, how about we dig into those creepy surveillance games you've been playing, Karen?" The room buzzed, phones out, recording. She fumbled her water, knocking over her gavel. "Oh, the chaos," Bob whispered in her ear, and her eyes widened. She knew. My pulse raced, but I stood tall. Tonight, Karen's empire was toast, and I was just getting warmed up. Oh, the chaos! The room exploded into a storm of murmurs, can you believe it? As I caught glimpses from the corner of my eye, neighbors whipping out their phones, recording every jaw-dropping second. Karen's hand shook, if you can imagine, shook like a leaf, as she fumbled for her water bottle, sending her precious sparkly pink gavel crashing to the floor with a clatter. That's when Bob, oh, her loyal sidekick, rushed to the podium, whispering something frantic in her ear. Her eyes popped wide. As the truth hit her like a freight train, she'd been tangling with the wrong guy all these years. The room hushed dead silent as I rose to my feet. My heart was pounding like a drum, but my voice, steady as a rock. Karen's smug little grin started to melt right off her face as I yanked out my leather briefcase. Oh, the drama. Before we vote on these outrageous new fees, I declared, I've got something huge to share with you all. I snapped that briefcase open, click, and pulled out a thick stack of property deeds, slapping them down one by one on the table. Each crinkly paper was a piece of my secret empire falling into place 5 years in the making. The room buzzed, whispers buzzing like bees as I lined them up in perfect rows, my hands steady despite the adrenaline pumping through me. For the past 5 years, I boomed. I've watched this HOA board let real problems rot while they nitpick good folks over nothing. I've seen Karen, yes. Karen slap a fine on Miss S. Johnson, an 82-year-old sweetheart, just for a flower pot 1 measly inch too tall. But her buddy Susan's garish purple fence? Not a peep. Karen's face flared red hot as a chili pepper. That's not true, she sputtered, snatching her water bottle. Her hand shook so bad, oh bless her, she splashed it all over her fancy blouse, staining that designer fabric with her own panic. I fired up the big screen with photos, bam. Here's Karen sneaking around at 3:00 a.m. last Tuesday, measuring my grass like some lawn-obsessed lunatic. The security footage was sharp as attack gasps rippled through the crowd. And look at this, ignoring the Thompson's violations right after her son's landscaping crew got hired. Whispers swelled, heads nodded as folks recalled their own brushes with Karen's two-faced rules. But here's the kicker, I said, hoisting that stack of deeds high. Through my company, Sunrise Properties, I now own, get this, 67% of this development. I let that bombshell hang in the air. Oh, the weight of it. That makes me the big boss of this HOA. Karen leaped up, chair crashing, her voice squeaking like a scared mouse. You can't do that. It's against the rules. Panic much? I smiled, cool as ice. Actually, I can. 3 law firms say it's all legit. I whipped out another folder, bam. And I've got 32 signed complaints, harassment, picky enforcement, shady fees. The room erupted pure chaos. Mrs. Johnson stood, voice quivering with righteous fury. Last winter, they fined me $200 for not shoveling fast enough while I was stuck in the hospital with pneumonia. Others piped up story after story, pouring out like a dam breaking. Karen banged her gavel, whack, whack, but no one cared anymore. I moved to ditch this board. I roared. New elections, term limits, fair rules, no more 3:00 a.m. grass nonsense or picking favorites. Bob Chen, my neighbor 2 doors down, shot his hand up. Seconded. Hands flew up everywhere. Yes, yes, yes. Karen snatched her designer purse, storming for the door. Meeting's over, she shrieked. My lawyer's coming for you. Not so fast, I called, calm as ever. Bylaw 7.3 says you need a majority to adjourn, and guess what? You don't have it. I waved at the deeds sprawled across the table. We're just warming up. She froze, hand on the knob, her empire crumbling after 20 years of lording it over us. Now, I said, flipping open another folder, let's dive into those sketchy pool renovation fees from last summer, $50,000 gone, and the pool's still a wreck. I've got bank records that'll make your jaw drop. Karen slumped against the wall, pale as a ghost. She didn't even clock the news van rolling into the lot. I'd called them for this community reorganization showdown. The next few hours were about to flip our neighborhood upside down, and I had every receipt to bury Karen's dirty secrets. Oh, the payoff of my careful plotting was sweet, but the best? Still coming. Monday morning, I strolled into my lawyer's office, 20 raging voicemails from Karen blaring through. She'd sniffed out my property records over the weekend and was screaming about suing me for stealing the neighborhood. I couldn't help it. I grinned. She'd shown her true, nasty colors at last. But angry? Nah, she was terrified. That night, she hit the streets, knocking on doors, spinning wild tales that I'd turn our quiet suburb into a car lot for my collection. Some folks, can you believe it, bought her lies, especially when she flashed fake papers tying me to some shady developer. Time to move fast. My cameras caught her midnight, sneaking onto my lawn, snapping close-ups of my car's plates. Next day, she sued, claiming my company broke HOA rules, even begging the court to freeze my voting rights. But my planning, it paid off big. My lawyer unleashed our ace. 5 years of HOA meeting records. Videos of Karen letting her pals off while hammering the rest of us check. Copies of checks where she funneled HOA cash to her backyard makeover check. Emails where she crowed about keeping undesirables out, double check. The judge's eyes bugged out with every reveal. Karen's face went tomato red when we rolled footage 3. OAM, ruler in hand, eyeballing my grass. Photos of my daughter's car. Threatening notes on neighbors' doors. Her lawyer was sweating bullets when we showed she'd fudged records to hide her cronies' unpaid dues. Then bam! 3 ex-board members stepped up. They spilled it all. Her bullying, her targeting, her boasts about funding Hawaii trips with our fines. The courtroom went pin-drop quiet when we flashed her social media poolside in Maui, smirking. Thanks, rule breakers, for this vacay, keep 'em coming, she stammered. I was just doing my job. Until we played last month's meeting tape, her screaming at 75-year-old Miss S. Johnson over a bird feeder 2 inches too low. Karen lost it, jumped up, finger jabbing at me. He's ruining our perfect neighborhood, she screeched. What kind of riffraff will move in without strict rules? He wants cars everywhere. The judge? Done. He trashed her lawsuit and ordered a full HOA audit. Boom. Outside, my phone buzzed neighbors texting about Karen's mass email, whining she was forced out by big money. I watched her stomp to her car, typing like a maniac. This wasn't over. She had her loyalists, and she'd never back down easy. But I had it. Proof she'd abused us for years and the power to fix it. Final hearing day surprise. News vans swarmed my house. Karen thought I'd cave. Ha! I straightened my tie, grabbed my papers, and strutted out. Morning, folks. I'm James Thompson. Want a peek at our HOA's dirty books? I flashed color-coded spreadsheets, years of fishy fees, all funneling to Karen's clique. The reporters ate it up, especially when I showed her measuring my grass at 3 a.m. Her own yard a rule-breaking mess. Oh, the thrill of it. The reporter's eyes practically sparkled. Can you imagine? As I laid out how Karen had been slamming single parents with steeper violation fees than her cushy golf buddies. One reporter, bless her, gasped out loud, her jaw dropping when I flashed that bombshell security footage. Karen, sneaking around at 3 a.m., measuring my grass with that ridiculous little ruler. While her own yard, the hypocrisy, was a chaotic mess, breaking every rule in the book. Inside the courthouse, there she sat, Karen herself, perched smugly beside her high-dollar lawyer, dripping in that fake pearl necklace. She loved to flaunt her signature, right? But that smug smile wiped clean off her face the second our lawyer started unloading the evidence. Boom! We hit them with photos, wham, of Karen's own house, a glaring rule breaker, that tacky, bright purple mailbox screaming for attention, her overgrown garden spilling over like a jungle, and her son's 4 cars sprawled across the street like a parking lot. The judge leaned in. Oh, you could feel the tension when we unveiled her secret Facebook group, where she'd bragged like a villain in some twisted movie. Let's see how long the Thompsons hold out with these new fees, she'd typed, her words dripping with venom. Maybe they'll finally pack up and sell to someone more suitable. Suitable? Who does she think she is? She shot up to object, her chair squeaking in protest, but froze, mouth gaping when we played that recording from last week's pool party. Her voice clear as a bell blasted through the courtroom. Of course, I make up violations. How else can we keep control of who lives here? Oh, the gall. The judge's gavel slammed down crack, like thunder, and the room held its breath. Not only did they boot Karen off the HOA board, good riddance, but she had to cough up every single unfair fee she'd squeezed out of us. When they read the total $147,892, her face twisted into this glorious mix of shock and dread, better than any revenge I could have dreamed up. I seized my majority ownership. 67% of this place was mine, and built a new HOA board that actually meant something. We picked 5 real neighbors heroes from all corners of the neighborhood. Miss S. Rodriguez. That sweet soul Karen tried to find for cooking her amazing ethnic dishes. And Mr. Chen, whose stunning garden she'd sneered at as too exotic. Can you believe the nerve? Change swept in fast. Oh, it was beautiful. Kids could finally bounce basketballs in their driveways, laughter echoing everywhere. Gardens sprouted vegetables, juicy tomatoes, not just prissy flowers. And yes, hallelujah, families could park more than 2 cars, as long as they fit their own space. 3 weeks later, I peeked out my window, heart swelling as Karen's moving truck rumbled up. She'd fired off this whiny final letter to everyone, claiming she was off to a better neighborhood with higher standards. Ha! Nobody missed that shiny new parking ticket plastered to her windshield as she peeled out poetic justice, right? That evening, my daughter rolled her car into our driveway, parking it proudly next to my rugged work truck and Sarah's trusty SUV. I hammered up a little sign we'd all voted on. Oh, it felt good. Welcome to Thompson Hills, where good neighbors make good neighborhoods. The next morning, surprise, my phone rang off the hook. A TV producer had caught the news frenzy and wanted to film a documentary. Can you even imagine? About how we'd turned our HOA nightmare into a dream. I gazed out at kids racing around their yards, free as birds, and neighbors swapping stories over garden fences, my chest puffed with pride. Karen, stuck in her new place with its stingy 1-car garage rule, would have to watch it all unfold. How's that for a twist? And the cherry on top? Our property values shot up 15% in just 1 month after she left. Who knew people actually love living where respect rules, not fear? Some of Karen's old cronies even swung by heads, hung low to say sorry, admitting they'd just been terrified of landing in her crosshairs. Next, poor things. We've still got an HOA, sure, but now it's a shield, not a whip. Every month, those fees go where they should, fixing up the playground with shiny new swings, patching the pool so it sparkles again, helping our elderly folks keep their homes cozy. We even planted a community garden right where Karen used to snap her petty violation. Pics bursting with life now. As I tucked away the last court papers, my phone buzzed a text from Karen's new neighborhood watch group. They're begging for tips, can you believe it? On tackling their own power, tripping HOA boss. I leaned back in my chair, a slow grin spreading, thinking, revenge? Nah, this isn't about settling scores. It's about lighting the way for others to stand tall. How's that for a legacy?